Time for the B final then here at round 2 of the 2017 Club 73 Karting Championship here at Buckmore Park under the floodlights at this excellent southeast of England circuit. This will be a 30-minute race, 24 intrepid kart racers out on track for this one. The grid already taking shape, and they start in number order with Glenn Marrison, number 1 in pole position. Alongside him, Stephen Bell. Row 2 will be Dan Cliff in number 3 and David Amato in number 4. Then on the third row we have number 5, which is Matt Chaplin, and number 6, Steve Berkey, who's carrying our onboard camera for this one. Jessica Coupland and Wayne Jenkins form the 4th row. Then we have Andy Hunt and Darren Martin. Row 6, Alex Raby and Adam Kellett. Then on the 7th row of the grid we'll see Sinclair Glover and Steve Algar. The 8th row, Nathan Willits and Lee Chapman, 15 and 16. On the 9th row, number 17, Jason Rowe, and number 18 is James Emson. Then moving on back in number 19, we've got Dimitri Oros and number 20, Paul Hibbard. The 11th row, number 21, William Doughton, and 22 of Adam Blair. And then on the 12th row of the grid, Yusuf Mubarak in 23, and number 24 is Carl Hardy. That's your lineup for this B final. No progression to the A final in this one. It is a standalone race. The A final coming up a little bit later on. Karts making their way up to the grid. The last couple of drivers already in position. There's number 23 of Yusuf Mubarak, number 19 Dimitri Oros about to make his way up to the grid, 17 of Jason Rowe. Drivers who missed the first round here at Lakeside, incidentally, have to start from the back of the grid. Marshall's just putting them into line down there, so drivers who missed round 1 at Lakeside in Essex have to start from the back. Second round here at Buckmore Park. Round 3 will take place at Red Lodge in Suffolk, not far from Mildenhall Stadium, home of Bangor Racing, of course. So we await the all clear to get underway then with this 30-minute B final, a long and arduous race in these little karts. Looks like everybody is just about in position now. Glenn Marrison on the front of the grid alongside Stephen Bell, Dan Cliff and David Amato in behind them. We're waiting for the marshals to clear the grid then to get this race underway in these identical Buckmore Park karts. Maybe tricky at times to tell them apart, so apologies in advance for any mix-ups on the numbers. So the 30 minutes is on the clock, the red light is on the starter's gantry. We await the green lights to come on, and then we will be underway. The green light comes on and we are away with the B final. It's a good start for the pole sitter Glenn Marrison in number 1. Trying to get down the outside is Stephen Bell. Looks like Bell has taken the lead in the number 2 karts. They are all away well. One kart running wide on the first corner. That's Henry's Bend. As they come into the first of the twisties, it is Stephen Bell who has got the lead in kart number 2. Glenn Marrison up the inside takes the lead coming out of turn 2. Somebody quite slow away. I think that's number 21 of William Doughton, who was quite slow away at the back, but it's Marrison, the pole sitter, who leads the way. They get around half a lap into this the final under the impressive Buckmore Park floodlights. He and Stephen Bell already starting to go clear of the rest of the field. Bell runs a bit deep into the left-hander there. Certainly pretty slippery out there under the trees on that far part of the circuit, and it's starting to hot up in the pack. We go on board with Stephen Berkey in kart number 6. In the middle of this 3-wide moment here as they come down through the chicane, going through their number 10 of Darren Martin. The leaders starting to come through to complete their first lap. The leader goes across the line to complete lap number 1. He's done a 1 minute 3.627, already pulling clear of the rest of the field. They're all bunched up close behind. It's Marrison who leads from Bell. Darren Martin with that good start in number 10 is up into 3rd place. Steve Berkey in number 6 is 4th, and Adam Kellett from quite a way down the grid on row 6 is into 5th. David Amato was the big loser around the first lap in number 4. Somebody spun there on turn 2. David Amato is down to the back of the field, so he must have had a moment somewhere. But Glenn Marrison was in the lead by nearly 2 seconds at the end of the first lap. He is going clear of Stephen Bell in 2nd place. Then it's Darren Martin running side by side, almost banging fairings there with Adam Kellett, who's now got ahead of Steve Berkey, and Kellett on the attack once again. We're on board with Berkey up there in 5th place now, having lost out to Martin and Kellett, but Glenn Marrison going clear in kart number 1 as he comes round to complete his second lap of this V final. 1 minute 5:27 his lap that time through. Now, has he increased his lead? He certainly has. 2.86 seconds up on Adam Kellett, who's now second. Adam has done the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 1:14. Martin third, then Berkey, Bell, Wayne Jenkins, Jess Coupland, Nathan Willits, Adam Blair and Dimitri Oros from towards the back is up into 10th place. Another spinner there at that tricky right-handed hairpin, turn 2. Everybody gets through on the inside to avoid that spun kart. Didn't quite catch who it was. We'll pick that up next time by. But Glenn Marrison clear in the lead then in this V final event. He goes out onto the back of the circuit. Kellett second. Martin is in third place. Plenty of battles still all the way down the order. There is the number 21 of William Doughton. He's running the best part of a lap behind. The leaders will catch him shortly. Marrison leads it now. Has the gap come down? It was 2.86 seconds at the end of lap 2. What's the lead going to be for Glenn Marrison over Adam Kellett this time through? It's come down to 2.4. They're now lapping under 1 minute, so we lose the number 15 kart there coming onto the grid. That's Nathan Willits. He was running in around 8th place. He's dropped down the order now. Number 13 is moving up as well. Sinclair Glover will be solved there. So it's now Marrison, Kellett, Martin, Berkey and Bell. Adam Blair, who started 22nd, is up into 6th place. He's had a brilliant first couple of laps. They make their way through the twisties out onto the back of the circuit. The kart that spun last time through was Andy Hunt, number 9, I think. He's dropped a few places. Jess Coupland has dropped back as well, and sideways there, one of the pace setters in trouble. Hard to see the numbers in the floodlights there. We'll work out who that was when they cross the line. As Glenn Marrison continues to lead the way. He lost a few tenths on that previous lap now, and the gap is definitely coming down. Adam Kellett up from 12th on the grid. Darren Martin using all of the curbs and more there, coming out of the final left-hander. They charge their way up to the grid. It's Marrison from Kellett. Martin will be in third place. Another fastest lap for Kellett. He's close to within 1.8 seconds now of Glenn Marrison at the front. No change in the top 10 on that last lap. Stephen Bell still 5th behind Stephen Berkey. And it's Blair, Jenkins, Oros, Chaplin and Paul Hibbard up into 10th place from 20th on the grid. That's the three-way fight going on there. Hibbard on the back of it. That's the battle for 8th place, currently headed by Dimitri Oros on kart number 19. They come towards us. In the middle of that little group is Matt Chaplin in number 5 with the red overall. The race has settled down somewhat. There's 25 minutes still to go though. We're 5 minutes into this B final. And your leader is the number 1. Holds it to Glenn Marrison, but Adam Kellett closing him down all the time. Again, Darren Martin runs wide out of the left-hander. They're using all of the curbs there. The gap at 2.1 seconds that time through, so the gap has stabilised somewhat. Martin, a further 3.3 seconds back in third place. There's the number 2 of Stephen Bell. He's lost 5th to Adam Blair, now under attack from Wayne Jenkins in kart number 8. New fastest lap of the race for Marrison that time through. He's increased his advantage a bit more. He knows Adam Kellett's there. He's starting to push on. They slide their way round this slightly damp tarmac here at Buckmore Park. Dan Cliff has dropped a long way down the order. He started 3rd, he's now down to 22nd. He must have been one of our early spinners. 1 place ahead of Alex Raby in number 11 at the back. Our last runner is William Doughton in number 21. There goes the leader. Glenn Marrison ahead of Adam Kellett in this B final. Round 2 of the Club 73 Karting Championship here at Buckmore Park. And Steve Berkey has got up into 3rd place. He's got ahead of Darren Martin. They go through line astern. It's Berkey ahead of Martin and Adam Blair in behind them in number 22 with the red and white crash helmet. The gap is still 1.8 seconds between Marrison and Kellett. They have dropped these three. They're over 5.5 seconds down. Martin on the inside retakes 3rd place into the hairpin. So great fight developing here. On the back of them, Adam Blair. Wayne Jenkins has got ahead of Stephen Bell as well. The 6th position. It's Oros, Chaplin and Hibbard. They're still fighting together. Stephen Bell, I think, has dropped back into their clutches now. We go on board with number 6 of Steve Berkey, fighting for 3rd position. Adam Blair has got ahead of him now in the 22 karts. We see from the helmet cam, looks like 1 or 2 drops of rain on the camera lens there. Up the inside goes Berkey. Can't catch number 22, Adam Blair, that time through. back in 5th place now, with Darren Martin having retaken 3rd. You can see from this angle just how much you get bounced around in one of these karts. That tarmac is not quite as smooth as it looks from outside. 7 laps completed, then it's still Marison ahead of Kellett by just under 2 seconds. Martin in 3rd ahead of Blair. Berkey is back to 5th. Then Jenkins and Bell. Stephen Bell has in fact dropped down the order, so they might have had a problem there for Stephen Bell on that previous lap. He may have had a spin somewhere. So Wayne Jenkins in 6th. Matt Chaplin is up to 7th. And Stephen Bell is tumbling down the timing screen, so Bell has had a problem somewhere. Their way around the hairpin section. Main focus is the battle for 3rd place now that we've lost Stephen Bell. He's down on 21st place according to the timing screen. He's just come across the line now. His last lap was a 1:22, so he's lost over 20 seconds somewhere. They continue on in this long, arduous race. 22 minutes of this B final to go. There's the battle for 3rd. Darren Martin and Adam Blair have now dropped Stephen Berkey. He's dropped back into 5th position. Leaders have gone through, lapping in the 57th now. The karts and the tyres start to heat up fully. 8 laps gone, 1.8 seconds the lead gap. Martin and Blair have pulled away from Stephen Berkey, over 2.5 seconds clear. That last lap, there go the leaders. Matt Chaplin is 7th, ahead of Dimitri Oros. Coming into the left-hander now. 9th is Paul Hibbard. Nathan Willits up into the top 10 ahead of Jess Coupland, who's just taken Sinclair Glover for 11th place. Looks like all 24 karts are still running. William Doughton still the last runner, a couple of laps behind. The race having settled down slightly now. Still your leader is Glenn Marison. 9 laps completed. Still 1.8 seconds up on Adam Kellett. He closed just a little that time, and now Adam Blair all over the back of Darren Martin for 2nd place. He's going to try and go up the inside into Henry's Bend to try and take 3rd away. Still nose to tail. Darren Martin holds him off in the number 10. A good drive by the man who started from the 5th row. Berkey still there behind them in 5th. 6th and 7th together now. Matt Chaplin has caught Wayne Jenkins. 2 drivers in red there going into the left-hander. Looks like Chaplin is going to get up the inside and take 6th place away from Wayne Jenkins. The next group is headed by Nathan Willits, who's got up into 8th position ahead of Paul Hibbard. Jessica Coupland. We've lost Dimitri Oros. He's had a problem somewhere. He came through in 14th last lap around. They're all over each other coming through the back section of the circuits. Goodness me. Someone nearly spun there. I think that might have been Nathan Willits in number 15. There's the fight for 3rd place. Darren Martin still holding back 22 of Adam Blair in the red and white crash helmets. There's number 3 of Dan Cliff. I think he's about to be lapped by our race leader. Starting from the 2nd row, Dan Cliff and the number 11 of Alex Raby being lapped by the 3rd place battle, and that's allowed number 22 to get through. Raby goes out way wide over the curbs to let the lead carts through, and I think Darren Martin might have a problem there. He seems to be slowing down. Steve Berkey's certainly got a problem. He's had to go into the wall to avoid a slower kart there, but he keeps going. And Steve Berkey nearly coming to grief big style there, lapping a slower marker. The danger of back markers now starting to creep into play as the leaders catch the slower runners. They're frantically trying to find a way to get out of the way. There's not a lot of places you can go on this circuit. Widest circuit in the country, so Adam Blair, we know, he's now up into 3rd place. The lead gap has come down meantime. Adam Kellett is catching Glenn Marison, only 4/10 of a second behind. Last time through he gained half a second. Steve Berkey is still in 5th despite that minor excursion. Matt Chaplin is next. He's lapping a rather sideways Dan Cliff in number 3. Behind them we've got Wayne Jenkins, Paul Hibbard, Jess Coupland and Sinclair Glover in number 13. Matt Chaplin in the red suit there, leading Jenkins. Back marker in between them. 20 under attack there, Paul Hibbard from Jessica Coupland in number 7. And your leader is Glenn Marison, but only just. Here come the leaders. The gap coming right down now as they come up to cross the line. Great stuff between the two leaders. 12 laps completed. There's only 0.3 of a second in it now. Adam Kellett and Glenn Marrison both into the 56s in terms of lap times. And 22, Adam Blair really pulling away from Darren Martin. Now the cork is out of the bottle, but never mind that because the leader is under attack. The number 12 kart of Adam Kellett all over the back of Glenn Marrison. Marrison continues to lead. But only just. He's got Kellett on his tail looking to make a move now. Around the back of the circuit they go. 1 and the 12 together. Glenn Marrison has led all the way from the front so far. Briefly headed off the line by Stephen Bell. We've now dropped towards the back of the field after a moment. Somebody running wide there. That's the number 20 of Paul Hibbard. So the kart's trying to get out of the way. Paul Hibbard currently running in 8th place in number 20. He's got Jess Coupland up alongside him. She's trying to go round the outside and she's done it. Up into 8th position. Sinclair Glover behind them in number 13. And and a tangle there. And is that the leader that's gone? No, I don't think it is. No, that was the number 7, I think, of Jess Coupland, quite possibly, that spun out there in contact with the back marker. Back with the leaders then. I think that was Coupland who spun out. We'll check on the timing as they come through next time around. Here comes Kellett. He's having a look on the inside as they come up towards the left-hander. He's going to go through and take the lead, I think. Marrison tries to fight back, but Kellett into the lead. Have our first lead change of the race with over 16 minutes to go. James Kellett got the better exit there from turn 3, the left-hander. They were side by side on the run-up to turn number 4. Kellett's able to get the tighter line and take the lead away from Glenn Marrison for the first time in this race on lap 14. 16.5 minutes of the race still to go. Good stuff there from Adam Kellett. He now leads the way. He's got a back marker ahead of him though, number 4 of David Amato. Careful here to get through, and Amato chops him going into the first corner. Kellett at the inside though, he's got him this time. Marrison fighting back on his tail. And Adam Blair in 3rd place. Get past the number 4 of Amato safely. The next man to be lapped will be Stephen Bell in number 2. It was Jessica Coupland who had the spin we saw there, tangling with the slower kart. That was number 7 spinning down to 16th place. She came through on the last lap. 2 leaders well clear now. They're over 7.5 seconds clear of Adam Blair in 3rd place. Just between these two, unless something goes wrong for the 1 and the 12. And up the inside there, that was the number 10, I think, of Darren Martin, lapping a slower kart. He's safe in 4th place at the moment, Darren Martin. Behind him, Stephen Berkey. Lapped karts everywhere. Some changes further back in the pack. Nathan Willits has dropped back in number 15, so he's had a moment somewhere, I think. There are now 15 karts on the lead lap. Kellett still leads ahead of Marrison. There goes number 8, that's Wayne Jenkins. He's in 7th place. 5, Matt Chaplin ahead of him in 6th. 2 drivers in the red race suits. Behind them, number 18, that's James Emson. He's in 8th place. Then we've got the 3 of Dan Cliff. He's a lap down. Battle there, 20, 15 and 24. 20 Paul Hibbard, 15 Nathan Willits, 24 Carl Hardy. They're fighting for 12th place. Bit of bashing fairings there. That's the 20 car getting sent sideways. He's lost a couple of spots. Paul Hibbard bashed out of 12th by Nathan Willits. Carl Hardy, who started last, has come through as well, up into the top 15. Still Adam Kellett ahead of Glenn Marrison up front by just over half a second now. Blair and Martin in 3rd and 4th. Next group comes across the line. That's Stephen Berkey being hounded down now by Matt Chaplin. He gained 0.3 of a second on that previous lap. Then we've got the 8 and 18. James Emson making a move there on Wayne Jenkins, takes 8th place away. And then this scrap for 9th place. Dimitri Oros making a good recovery in the number 19. He's back up to 9th. He had a spin earlier on. Sinclair Glover behind him now, I should say, and Nathan Willits heading the next group. Andy Hunt has dropped back as well in number 9, down to 14th place. Scrap going on here between 8 and 18. Wayne Jenkins back ahead of James Emson through the hairpin section there. Lap times continue to tumble. It's James Emson, in fact, who's done the fastest lap of the race, 55.862. counting down on this B final. 13 minutes of the race to go now. Adam Kellett still leads ahead of Marison, Blair and Martin. Chaplin has taken 5th from Stephen Berkey. They're in the positions where they started. Emson now up to 7th ahead of Wayne Jenkins. Then Oros, Glover rounding out to the top 10. Adam Blair trying to close in on second place man Glenn Marison. We're on board with Stephen Berkey. There's Matt Chaplin ahead of him. He's run wide through the hairpin. They go out onto the painted tarmac on the outside. Now in wet conditions that's not a wise move because it will spin you out. Hopefully not too wet here. The track a little damp as you can see. Clock continues to count down. 17 and a half minutes of the race gone. Adam Blair still moving into the reckoning, carving up the back markers in 3rd place. The course clear of Darren Martin. He's still 7.5 seconds down on our 2 leaders though. There goes the number 17 kart. That is Jason Rowe. Battling with Yusuf Mubarak in 23 for 16th place. Sideways over the curves, that is Nathan Willits in the blue and white, number 15. Across the line goes Dimitri Oros ahead of this little group. Willits back in the 11th place behind Sinclair Glover now. So the full order is Kellett, Marison, Blair, Martin, Chaplin, Berkey, Emson, Jenkins, Oros and Glover is the top 10. Then behind them Nathan Willits, Carl Hardy, Paul Hibbert's down to 13, Steve Algar is 14, Andy Hunt we've got in 15th place, Jason Rowe is 16th. Yusuf Mubarak, Jessica Coupland is 18th, then 19th is Lee Chapman. Stephen Bell, who started on the front row, rounds out the top 20. And then behind them we've got David Amato, Dan Cliff, Alex Raby and William Doughton. That's the full list of runners with 19 laps completed. Still, Adam Kellett continues to lead in number 12. And Marison in 2nd place. Still only half a second between them though. Well ahead of the rest, 7 seconds. Adam Blair did gain half a second on that last lap in 3rd place. He hasn't got them in his sights just yet though. Sideways there, that's James Emson in number 18 possibly. 23 going through, that is Yusuf Mubarak. He's back in 17th place. There's the number 17 going through. Jason Rowe 1 place ahead of him. Great fight going on here. That's the leaders. They could have a lead change there coming into the first turn. They went side by side over the grid, and I think Glenn Marison has just taken the lead back there as they pass one of the back markers. Kellett back up the inside as they go into the hairpin. And I think Marison has held it. Yes, he has. They were lapping number 3 of Dan Cliff. They were side by side down the grid, and the number 1 kart of Glenn Marison has got the lead back as they went into turn 2. So Marison back in front then. He saw his opportunity as they were momentarily caught behind the back marking number 3 of Dan Cliff. We go on board with Stephen Berkey in kart 6 through the hairpin section, losing out there to the number 18. That is James Emson. So Berkey's back to 7th after his good run early on. And now Emson attacking number 5 of Matt Chaplin as well. Terrific battle going on for 5th, 6th and 7th back in the order. Leaders come through. Glenn Marison back in front. All the way by 7/10 of a second as well on that lap alone. So Glenn Marison fired up here. Looks like he's quicker in a straight line, but Adam Kellett better on the turns. And nose to tail once again as they go into the hairpin section. Coming up on number 23 of Yusuf Mubarak in number 23, 17th place. He's about to go a lap down. Adam Blair still there in 3rd. He's closed in by a second on that previous lap with the leaders delayed briefly by traffic. 9 minutes of the race to go. We ride on board with Stephen Berkey once again. He's just content to let the 2 ahead of him scrap here. Matt Chaplin and James Emson. Chaplin in red, Emson in black and white. Berkey runs a bit wide through turn 2 there. Fighting that kart. You can see how hard he's working the steering wheel. Very tiring sport, karting. Takes a lot out of the arms and shoulders in particular. Your leader is Glenn Marison by half a second ahead of Adam Kellett. They're in 3rd place. A lot of traffic here ahead of the race leaders as they come through the hairpin section. The leader bounces off a back marker. This is Adam Kellett's opportunity. Can he get up the inside round the hairpin? They're absolutely side by side at the back of that group. And look how many karts they've got to get through here. They're in there somewhere. The leaders mired in this phalanx of back markers at the moment. Who's going to come out of this with the lead? They've got to somehow pick and choose their lines through. 22 laps completed so far. Now, are they going to come out of this in one piece even? Somebody being sent wide there. Who's coming through in the lead? Well, there is the race leader. It is still Marison who has got the lead. No, Kellett has got through. So Kellett into the lead then in the back marker traffic. It's very difficult to pick the numbers out with so many cars. We've got 6 of them almost on top of one another coming down to the hairpin section. This is going to end in Tia Shelley, and I think that's Kellett that got spun out there. I think Kellett's been spun out after contact. No, he's still there. It's the back marker that spun. Apologies. Kellett is still there in second place. I thought for a second we'd lost our second place map. They fight their way through the traffic. So it was a heart-stopping moment there for Adam Kellett. I'm sure he's lost his lead back to Glenn Marison, but fortunately still pointing the right way and still in second place. This is a terrific race. Blair still third ahead of Martin, Emson, Chaplin, Berkey, then Jenkins, Oros and Willett round out the first 10. Sinclair Glover is next in the order with just under 7 minutes of the race to go now. Glenn Marison is back in front ahead of Kellett. They've got Steve Alger and Andy Hunt behind them. They're fighting for 14th place as Kellett laps the number 20. That is Paul Hibbard. Hibbard hits the back of him there coming through the right-handed hairpin. Kellett's got a wall of back markers ahead of him. That's Steve Alger and Paul Hibbard. They're too busy fighting for 13th place to notice that the leaders are there, I think. The leaders have got to pick their way through somehow. They are managing it fairly well at the moment. Only one slight scare for Adam Kellett. There we see Kellett dodging about behind the back markers in number 12 as Hibbard went up the inside of the 14, and Kellett just about able to get through. He had to bounce off the curb and force the 14 of Steve Alger to go wide, but that's allowed Glenn Marison to pull clear a little because he was delayed in there. Adam Kellett in number 12. There goes Kellett. Have a look at the gap this time. 1 3/4 seconds down on Glenn Marison now. Got to make up the ground here. Still the 20 cars is not giving way. That's Paul Hibbard. And Adam Kellett will be getting frustrated here. He's coming up to lap the number 20. Well clear of Adam Blair, who's closed up a little with the delays caused by back markers here. Now Kellett manages to force his way through. Pushes his way past Paul Hibbard in the 20. He's running in 13th place. But this has allowed Glenn Marison to get away in kart number 1, the pole sitter. Led all but about 3 laps of this B final. Long to go now, only 5 minutes left on the timing clock. There is Marison up over the timing line once again to complete his 26th lap in this 30-minute race. Gap is now down it's up to just over 2 seconds, so Kellett's really struggling to deal with the back markers, and he is falling back into the clutches of Adam Blair in 22. So Blair has got Kellett in his sights now. There's number 20, he's all over the place. There's Kellett, there's Blair with the red and white crash helmet. So the gap is now down to just under 3 seconds. Martin's still 4th, James Emson is up to 5th, he's got ahead of Matt Chaplin. Then it's Berkey, Willits, Oros, Wayne Jenkins has dropped down the order to 10th place. So has that struggle with traffic for Adam Kellett handed the race to Glenn Marison, I wonder? We will wait and see. Not long to go now. There goes Marison. Looking good out in front of this B final. A yellow flag out there. We've got somebody off. We can just see the crash helmet there, and one car that's gone into the tyre wall. Can't quite identify who that is at the moment. It's gone into the tyre wall on the first turn on the run up to Henry's Bend, the second corner on this Buckmore Park circuit, named after the late Henry Surtees. So we've got one kart stuck in the tyre wall at turn 1, so the yellow flag out, that means no passing. Kellett's now got through the back markers. He's closed back up by nearly a second. 1.28 seconds was the gap last time through. And Adam Blair has dropped back by a couple of tenths. Hope that kart that's in the tyre wall on turn 1 can get going again. Still Glenn Marison continues to lead the way on this tight roller coaster of a circuit. There goes number 17. That's is Jason Rowe. He's in 17th place. There goes Marison. The cart that was stuck there has got going again, whoever it was. We didn't manage to identify them, unfortunately. We'll try and do so as they come through next time around. So 3 minutes left then in this B final. Adam Kellett is closing back up. He's catching Glenn Marison, so we could be in for a grandstand finish here. But they start to sort themselves out further back in the order. Running wide again there, number 20 of Paul Hibbard. In the closing stages now, then less than 3 minutes to go. Adam Kellett will be on the attack to try and retake the lead of this B final. The signal will have gone out. You'll have seen the 3 minutes to go. And it's like the lap boards going out in a short oval race. It's the signal for the drivers to turn up the wick. They know they've got limited time to attack. Too sure on the kart that we lost further back into the tyre wall. We'll pick that up if we can. In the closing stages now, 29 laps completed. What's the gap? Half a second between first and second place. Adam Blair a further 4 seconds back. Just between the two of them now, I think, Marison and Kellett. There they are, they're in back marker traffic again. Now, who's going to deal with them the stronger this time? Marison clips the side of the number 11, that's Alex Raby. He's got through there as they come through the hairpin section. Kellett's got through, I think, safely as well this time. So is it going to be Marison or Kellett? I think they're safely clear of Adam Blair. They head round the back of the circuit. It's going to be very close between the two of them here. They're in there somewhere. Is it going to be Kellett who emerges onto the front straight in the lead ahead of Glenn Marison? They're absolutely together. And Kellett, has he got his nose in front? Not quite. Marison forced onto the grass by a back marker. This is Kellett's opportunity as they come over the line. They're going to cross the line side by side. There's a yellow flag there, though, because somebody has gone off. They stay side by side. Now, who was ahead when the yellow flag came out? It's Kellett that's gone ahead as they exit the yellow flag zone around the outside. Now, the 13 kart there briefly got in the way. Sinclair Glover. And that forced Glenn Marison onto the grass. That's given Adam Kellett the lead with less than a minute of this race to run. Kellett side by side with Glover now, and Glover cuts across him. Now, Glover is making a bit of a nuisance of himself here. He's not letting the leaders through. Kellett is ahead of him. Now Marison's got through. There's another back marker there as well. The number 21, that is William Doughton, who's running in last place. And, well, Marison having real trouble with the back markers. It's Marison's turn to have problems this time. We saw Kellett struggling earlier on. There's only 30 seconds of this race left to go now. Number 12 of Adam Kellett ahead of Glenn Marison. Is it going to be checkered flag this time? No, this time they've got one more lap left to run. We're on to the last lap now. The timer is counting down to 0. We're on the final lap, and it looks like Adam Kellett has done it. Well, back markers proved the difference in this race. First, we saw Adam Kellett have trouble early on, and then Glenn Marison getting stuck. He still hasn't got past Sinclair Glover now. Forced him onto the grass a couple of laps ago, allowing Adam Kellett to take the lead. Blair has closed up quite considerably as well in third place. I don't think he's going to get any higher up the podium. James Empson, meanwhile, is up to fourth ahead of Darren Martin, but it's going to be a win for Adam Kellett, surely now in number 12. Started from the 6th row of the grid, made a superb start, and he is heading for victory here at Buckmore Park in this B final. Here comes Adam Kellett in the number 12. There's the checkered flag. Adam Kellett takes the win. Glenn Marison will come over in second place, and Adam Blair had caught him there. He was only half a second behind him at the flag, so Blair takes third place. We'll wait for the rest of them to come home. It will be James Empson, I think, who will take fourth position. They're a long way behind the remainder of the pack, so it'll be Empson who will take fourth position. Darren Martin comes over in fifth. Maybe 17 seconds down on the podium finishers. Waiting for the rest of them to come home. Matt Chaplin will take sixth position. 10 karts on the lead lap at the end of the race. Chaplin in sixth. It will be Steve Berkey, I think, our onboard cameraman, in seventh. He comes across the line. Eighth will go to Nathan Willits. Dimitri Oros, despite a moment early on in the race, will take ninth position, and Wayne Jenkins just behind him in 10th. The other finishers, Sinclair Glover takes 11th. 12th is Carl Hardy, 13th Andy Hunt, 14th Yusuf Mubarak, 15th for Paul Hibbard, 16th is Steve Alger, 17th Jason Rowe, 18th Lee Chapman, 19th goes to David Amato, 20th after a spin Jess Coupland, 21st goes to front row starter Stefan Bell, 22nd is Dan Cliff, 23rd Alex Raby, and 24th goes to William Doughton. That's your finishing order in this B final here at Buckmore Park. Congratulations to number 12 Adam Kellett, the race winner. And congratulations James Empson, he got the fastest lap, 54.237 seconds. The winner completing 32 laps in the end. So well done to our 24 drivers in our B final here at Buckmore Park. This Club 73 round 2.
So the top 3 in the B final separated by less than 5 seconds in the end, so it was quite a close race. How did you see it from your perspective?
I thought it went well, especially when there was back markers. I thought I got a bit lucky towards the end, but sometimes it just goes my way, so tonight was the night for me.
How did it work for you in terms of working your way through? I know there was a lot of traffic further back down the grid.
I think on the second to last lap I finally got back up to first, but towards the end I wanted to push as hard as possible, and I'm just glad it came through.
And how does this result look for you in terms of the championship? Obviously a bumper haul of points today.
It's lovely. It's my first round because I missed the first round because I was on holiday, so it's nice to be back into the flow of things.
Congratulations.
Thank you.